The realm of the mind. Introduction. The mind is an expansive universe, a vast and fertile realm where every idea and emotion holds the power to shape our reality in ways both profound and unforeseen. It is the wellspring of dreams and the architect of all we create, capable of weaving visions of infinite possibility. Yet nestled within this realm of brilliance lies a paradox. The same mind that gives rise to boundless potential can also become a prison, shackling us with fear, doubt, and self-imposed limitations. Fear, dark, overwhelming, and insidious, is the shadow that looms over this luminous domain. It infiltrates the corners of our consciousness, whispering lies of insufficiency and failure. This emotion, as ancient as humanity itself, is no mere psychological abstraction. Fear constrains the spirit, rendering it a captive to its own imagined perils. Worse still, it etches its corrosive signature upon the body, disrupting the delicate symphony of mind and spirit, turning the harmonious dance of our being into dissonance. But what if we could break free? What if we could shatter the chains of fear and silence the voices of self-doubt? What if the walls we have unknowingly built around our potential could crumble, revealing a vast expanse of possibilities awaiting our courage to explore? The truth is this: when the mind is unshackled from fear, its potential multiplies, expanding beyond anything we dare to imagine. It becomes a boundless force capable of transforming lives, healing wounds, and creating miracles. This book is not about erasing the mysteries of the mind or claiming to hold all the answers. To reduce such an intricate and infinite realm to a set of neat conclusions would be folly. Instead, this exploration seeks to illuminate, guide, and ignite a spark of understanding within you. It invites you to walk the labyrinth of your inner world with curiosity and courage, to embrace both its light and its shadow, and to discover the extraordinary truth hidden within its depths. The realm of the mind is not just a place of thought. It is the stage where our reality is scripted, where every belief becomes a seed and every emotion a brushstroke painting the canvas of our lives. As you turn these pages, let them serve as a compass pointing you toward the vast, untapped potential that lies within. And as you embark on this journey, remember, the only true limits are the ones we accept. The realm of the mind. Introduction. The mind is an expansive universe, a vast and fertile realm where every idea and emotion holds the power to shape our reality in ways both profound and unforeseen. It is the wellspring of dreams and the architect of all we create, capable of weaving visions of infinite possibility. Yet nestled within this realm of brilliance lies a paradox. The same mind that gives rise to boundless potential can also become a prison, shackling us with fear, doubt, and self-imposed limitations. Fear, dark, overwhelming, and insidious, is the shadow that looms over this luminous domain. It infiltrates the corners of our consciousness, whispering lies of insufficiency and failure. This emotion, as ancient as humanity itself, is no mere psychological abstraction. Fear constrains the spirit, rendering it a captive to its own imagined perils. Worse still, it etches its corrosive signature upon the body, disrupting the delicate symphony of mind and spirit, turning the harmonious dance of our being into dissonance. But what if we could break free? What if we could shatter the chains of fear and silence the voices of self-doubt? What if the walls we have unknowingly built around our potential could crumble, revealing a vast expanse of possibilities awaiting our courage to explore? The truth is this: when the mind is unshackled from fear, its potential multiplies, expanding beyond anything we dare to imagine. It becomes a boundless force capable of transforming lives, healing wounds, and creating miracles. This book is not about erasing the mysteries of the mind or claiming to hold all the answers. To reduce such an intricate and infinite realm to a set of neat conclusions would be folly. Instead, this exploration seeks to illuminate, guide, and ignite a spark of understanding within you. It invites you to walk the labyrinth of your inner world with curiosity and courage, to embrace both its light and its shadow, and to discover the extraordinary truth hidden within its depths. The realm of the mind is not just a place of thought. It is the stage where our reality is scripted, where every belief becomes a seed and every emotion a brushstroke painting the canvas of our lives. As you turn these pages, let them serve as a compass pointing you toward the vast, untapped potential that lies within. And as you embark on this journey, remember, the only true limits are the ones we accept. The mind holds an extraordinary power, one that we often overlook in the hustle of daily life. It is both the engine of our creativity and the compass that guides our actions. Yet, like a finely tuned instrument, its true potential only emerges when it operates in harmony with the body. This synergy, the unity of mind and body, is the key to unlocking an enduring strength, one that allows us to move through life with purpose, vitality, and joy. Strength, whether physical or mental, is not an inherent gift but a cultivated ability. It grows through intentional practice and the art of focus. In every action we undertake, from the simplest to the most demanding, our power is multiplied when we direct all our attention to the present moment. When we scatter our thoughts, allowing our minds to drift to worries or distractions, we weaken ourselves. Energy dissipates, our actions falter, and we are left with a lingering sense of exhaustion. But when we channel the full force of our mind into a single task, the act becomes more than mere effort. It transforms into a flow, a rhythm, a dance of energy that feels almost effortless. Consider the body as a reservoir of energy, constantly replenished through the rhythms of daily life, eating, sleeping, breathing. These activities are more than habits. They are sacred rituals that fuel our being. Yet, without the guidance of the mind, this energy remains unfocused, like water spilling over the sides of a vessel. The mind must act as the master of this reservoir, directing its flow with precision and purpose. A strong body supports a strong mind, and a strong mind in turn amplifies the strength of the body. It is a cycle, each feeding the other, creating a harmony that enhances our ability to experience life fully. There is a quiet wisdom in this union of mind and body. It teaches us that even the simplest actions hold profound potential. Imagine lifting a single stone. Before your body moves, your mind crafts a plan, a sequence of thoughts that directs your muscles, adjusts your posture, and determines the most efficient way to complete the act. If your mind is distracted, if it attempts to juggle unrelated thoughts while your body works, the task becomes clumsy and energy-consuming. But if your mind remains fully present, guiding each motion with care, the effort feels natural, even enjoyable. The energy you expend becomes purposeful rather than wasted, and your strength endures. This principle extends to every aspect of life. The more we focus on the task at hand, the more effectively we perform it. There is no need for haste or impatience. In fact, these emotions only drain our strength, pulling us away from the moment and scattering our energy like leaves in the wind. When we rush through an action, driven by the desire to finish rather than the joy of doing, we rob ourselves of the experience. But when we immerse ourselves fully in the act, whether it is walking, writing, or even something as mundane as tying a shoelace, we discover a profound satisfaction. The act ceases to feel like work and begins to feel like art. I once heard the story of a miner who spent his days shoveling earth. To a casual observer, his work might have seemed tedious, even grueling. But the miner approached his task with an almost meditative focus. He spoke of the shovel as an extension of himself, a tool that he directed with his mind as much as his muscles. By concentrating entirely on the act of shoveling, on the weight of the earth, the angle of the blade, the rhythm of his movements, he transformed a seemingly monotonous task into a source of pride and pleasure. What others saw as exhausting, he experienced as energizing. This lesson is not limited to physical labor. It applies equally to the mental and emotional challenges we face. When we allow our thoughts to drift into the future or the past, worrying about what might happen or dwelling on what has already occurred, we divide our energy. We weaken our ability to act in the present, and the weight of our scattered thoughts leaves us feeling drained. But when we bring our focus back to the here and now, Directing our full attention to the moment, we reclaim our power. We move through life with a sense of ease and clarity, unburdened by the noise of distraction. Even in moments of rest, the mind continues to work, expending energy as it processes thoughts and emotions. This is why it is so vital to cultivate mindfulness, to train the mind to remain centered and purposeful. Imagine walking up a hill. If your thoughts are consumed by the distance to the top, your energy will drain quickly. The climb will feel arduous and each step will be heavy with impatience. But if you focus entirely on the act of walking, on the movement of your legs, the feel of the ground beneath your feet, the rhythm of your breath, the hill becomes less daunting. Your energy flows to where it is needed most, and the journey becomes a source of strength rather than struggle. This is the power of concentration, the ability to channel all your mental and physical resources into a single purpose. It is not a fleeting burst of energy driven by anger or frustration, but a steady, enduring strength that grows from the alignment of mind and body. It is the force that allows an acrobat to scale a rope with grace, a speaker to captivate an audience with their words, a musician to lose themselves in the beauty of their art. Words and a musician to lose themselves in the beauty of their art. Every action we take, no matter how small, holds the potential for greatness when it is performed with focus and intention. Whether you are lifting a pin from the ground or climbing a mountain, the principle remains the same. Give your full attention to the act and it will become a source of power. Let go of distractions, release the impatience to finish, and immerse yourself in the present moment. The power of the mind is a real force that influences every part of our lives. It is neither an ideal nor an abstract idea. By cultivating the mind-body connection and mastering the skill of concentration, we may unleash a power that changes not just what we do, but also how we perceive life. We have the chance to access this power, live joyfully and purposefully, and realize the limitless potential that resides within us with every stride, breath, and thought. The mind is a boundless reservoir of energy and potential, yet it is often squandered in countless directions, dissipating like vapor in the wind. Each action we take, no matter how simple, draws from this reservoir, requiring a precise expenditure of mental focus. But when our thoughts stray, when we allow distractions to pull us into opposing directions, the result is inefficiency and fatigue. Mastering the art of concentration, the ability to anchor the mind entirely to the present moment, is not merely a useful skill but a transformative practice that reshapes how we live and experience the world. Imagine walking along a quiet path. With every step, energy flows from your mind to your body, guiding the movement of your legs, the rhythm of your breath, and the placement of your feet. If your thoughts remain centered on the act of walking, the journey feels light and fluid. But if your mind begins to wander, ruminating on past regrets, fretting over future worries, you suddenly find yourself drained. The same steps become laborious. The mind, divided, robs the body of its vitality. Yet this is a choice we make often unconsciously day after day. The ability to focus entirely on the present task is a rare and powerful gift, one that requires intentional cultivation. Consider a craftsman tying a series of knots. At first glance, it might seem like an effortless act, one that can be done mindlessly. Yet imagine performing the same task with your full attention, giving each knot your undivided focus. The process becomes something else entirely, a moment of mindfulness, precision, and mastery. You are no longer merely tying knots. You are engaging in a symphony of thought and action, where each movement is deliberate and free from distraction. This ability to focus is not merely about efficiency. It is about reclaiming the scattered fragments of our energy and harnessing them into a single, powerful stream. A mind that jumps endlessly between thoughts is like a flickering flame, unsteady and vulnerable to the slightest breeze. But a concentrated mind is a torch, unwavering and bright, capable of illuminating even the darkest paths. Yet how often do we truly dedicate ourselves to the present moment? Most people live their lives like spectators to their own thoughts, physically present but mentally absent, their minds consumed by a chaotic swirl of ideas, anxieties, and plans. This disconnection is the root of so much of our frustration, our errors, and our sense of being overwhelmed. We rush through tasks, driven by impatience or the urge to simply get it over with, only to find ourselves exhausted and unfulfilled. True mastery of the mind begins with the smallest actions. Tying a knot, sharpening a pencil, or even walking across a room. All these tasks become opportunities to practice focus. By training ourselves to give full attention to even the simplest of acts, we develop a skill that extends into every corner of our lives. This cultivated concentration becomes an invaluable tool, allowing us to navigate challenges with clarity and poise. There is a quiet beauty in this practice, a joy that emerges when we lose ourselves completely in an activity. The world falls away, and all that remains is the task before us. In those moments, time seems to slow, and our actions flow with an effortless grace. This state of immersion, often referred to as flow, is not reserved for artists or athletes. It is available to anyone willing to dedicate themselves fully to the present moment. But what happens when the mind resists this focus? Distraction is not just an annoyance, it is a thief, stealing the energy and clarity we need to thrive. A distracted mind is like a millstone, grinding the same thoughts over and over, wearing itself down in the process. When we are consumed by worries or regrets, we become trapped in a cycle that drains our energy without offering any resolution. The key to breaking free from this loop is to redirect our focus. Shifting the mind's attention to something new, even briefly, can be a powerful way to recharge. Imagine the relief of stepping away from a frustrating problem, only to return later with fresh energy and perspective. This act of mental redirection is not avoidance. It is a strategic pause, a chance to renew our strength before diving back in. The same principle applies to emotional challenges. When we are overwhelmed by grief, anger, or disappointment, the mind often fixates on the source of our pain, replaying it in endless loops. In these moments, the ability to shift focus becomes a lifeline. Engaging in a pleasant conversation, immersing ourselves in a creative activity, or simply taking a moment to breathe deeply can provide a sense of relief and clarity. This is not about ignoring our emotions, but about creating space for them to soften and evolve. The power of the mind lies not only in its capacity for focus, but also in its ability to adapt and recover. Just as a tired muscle can regain its strength with rest and care, the mind can be revitalized through mindful practice. It is a dynamic force, capable of incredible feats when guided with intention and care. Even in moments of rest, the mind is never idle. It is always working, processing, and consuming energy. This is why it is so essential to approach rest as a deliberate act, a time to recharge both body and mind. True rest is not found in mindlessly scrolling through a screen or dwelling on unfinished tasks. It is found in moments of stillness, in the quiet presence of simply being. Although it is a difficult route, conquering the mind is a worthwhile one. We go closer to realizing the full capacity of our energy and attention with every movement, breath, and act of concentration. The benefits are significant, a life that is lived with more joy, clarity, and purpose. Therefore, take a moment to stop the next time you are walking a familiar path, tying a knot, or sharpening a pencil. Give the act your whole focus. Give up the things that are drawing you away and focus on the here and now. By doing this, you can find a strength and clarity you were unaware of. One concentrated step at a time, you can claim the power of your mind, which is already within you. The mind is a realm of extraordinary power, a force so vast and intricate that it holds the potential to shape not only our lives, but also the very fabric of our reality. Yet, how often do we let this boundless energy slip through our fingers, scattered among fleeting distractions and trivialities? Mastering the mind is not a mere exercise in self-discipline. It is a gateway to an entirely new existence, one where clarity, focus, and purpose reign supreme. Consider for a moment the simple act of shifting focus. Imagine you're deeply engrossed in the daunting complexities of a home renovation. The weight of decisions, the endless tasks, and the sheer enormity of the project bear down on your mind. Now, picture placing that all aside, if only briefly, to sharpen a pencil. The act is simple, almost trivial, yet it demands your full attention. For a fleeting minute, you immerse yourself entirely in the task, feeling the grain of the wood, observing the spiraling shavings, hearing the faint rasp of the blade. At that moment, the towering concerns of your renovation fade away, and all that exists is the pencil in your hand. This seemingly insignificant act reveals something profound. The mind's ability to pivot, to redirect its energy from one task to another, is an untapped reservoir of strength. It is in these moments of complete focus that we find ourselves free from the ceaseless noise of our worries. By dedicating ourselves fully to a single task, no matter how small, we reclaim a piece of our inner power, and in doing so, we begin to train the mind, to bend it toward our will, rather than being at the mercy of its whims. One of the best gifts we can develop is the capacity for intense, distraction-free concentration. It is a tool for completely changing the way we approach life, not just a way to complete chores more quickly. We save energy that could otherwise be wasted on pointless mental digressions when we give our whole attention to the here and now. In turn, this energy conservation gives us the strength and clarity to tackle upcoming obstacles. Gaining concentration is like discovering one of the deepest mysteries in the cosmos. We are happier and more productive when we are in this mood, when we are completely present in the moment, free from regrets about the past or worries about the future. Happiness comes easily. As the saying goes, we cannot lead others until we learn to lead ourselves. To master the mind is to master oneself. Yet, how often do we let our emotions govern us? We move through life like leaves in the wind, carried this way and that by fleeting circumstances, a harsh word from a friend, an unexpected difficulty, or even an idle, intrusive thought. The result is a state of perpetual unrest, where our emotions dictate our actions, and we lose the ability to act with intention. The mind in turmoil is like turbulent water, clouded and opaque. To see clearly, we must allow it to settle, to let the muddy currents subside so that the pure, crystalline depths are revealed. This clarity does not come from avoidance, but from the deliberate act of redirecting our thoughts. When we focus entirely on a single, purposeful task, whether it's threading a needle, preparing a meal, or composing a letter, we create a temporary refuge for the mind. In those moments, the noise of the world fades and we discover the strength to face life's challenges with renewed vigor. However, avoiding challenges is not the goal of this exercise. The goal is to develop resilience. We can learn to change our focus when necessary when we practice complete concentration. Imagine the relief that comes from putting an unsolvable problem away and then coming back to it later with new insight. An important component of the process is taking a step back, resting the mind and letting it heal. The mind recovers its strength after intentional periods of concentration and release, much like a muscle does after resting after exertion. In times of emotional upheaval, grief, anger, or disappointment, the mind often fixates on the source of pain, cycling through the same thoughts in an exhausting loop. This relentless churn drains us of energy, leaving us feeling depleted and powerless. The ability to redirect our focus, even temporarily, is a life-saving skill. It allows us to interrupt this cycle, to create a pause in which healing can begin. Consider the restorative power of a simple conversation. Speaking with a trusted friend, sharing thoughts and exchanging ideas can feel like a breath of fresh air, breaking the suffocating hold of our inner turmoil. But we need not always rely on others for this relief. The mind is fully capable of guiding itself, of shifting from one thought to another, of finding its own balance and clarity. This self-reliance is not merely a skill, it is a form of liberation. To strengthen the mind's ability to concentrate is to embark on a path toward true mastery. Each time we focus fully on a task, no matter how mundane, we are exercising this skill, building the mental muscles needed for greater challenges. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. Tasks that once seemed tedious or overwhelming transform into opportunities for mindfulness and presence. The rewards of this practice are manifold. With concentration comes precision. A carpenter who drives a nail with focused care achieves far better results than one who hammers distractedly. Concentration also brings mental rest, allowing parts of the mind to recover and renew. And perhaps most profoundly, it brings joy. To be fully immersed in an activity is to experience a unique kind of pleasure, one that transcends the outcome of the task itself. Of course, the journey toward mastering concentration is not without its difficulties. In a world filled with distractions, it is all too easy to let the mind wander. But the key to overcoming this lies in our desire to improve. Like any skill, concentration grows with practice and intention. By reminding ourselves of its value, and by striving each day to focus more deeply, we gradually reclaim control over our thoughts and actions. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of incredible feats when guided with care and purpose. Yet like any tool, it must be used wisely. To overexert it, to push it relentlessly without rest, is to risk exhaustion and failure. Balance is essential. Just as we must rest our bodies after physical labor, so too must we give our minds moments of respite. In the end, the path to mastering the mind is not a destination, but a journey. Each moment of focus, each act of mindfulness, brings us closer to unlocking its full potential. And in doing so, we not only transform our own lives, but also gain the ability to shape the world around us. The power of the mind is vast, waiting to be harnessed. All it takes is the will to begin. One focused breath, one clear thought, one deliberate act at a time. There is a quiet wisdom in nature, a profound truth that often escapes the noise of our daily lives. Consider the lilies of the field. They do not toil or spin, yet their beauty surpasses the splendor of kings. This simple observation is not a call to idleness, but an invitation to reflect on the harmony of existence, a reminder that the universe operates on principles of abundance and intelligence that we too can access if we allow ourselves to align with them. In today's world, we often find ourselves shackled by fear of scarcity, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. These fears stem from a deeper disconnection, a forgetfulness of the vast reservoir of power and potential that lies within us. We are not beings destined to drift aimlessly, buffeted by the storms of uncertainty. Instead, we possess within us a mind capable of shaping reality itself, of drawing from the infinite source of wisdom that flows through all things. It is easy to become overwhelmed by the weight of life's demands. Yet, if we pause for just a moment and turn inward, we discover that the very act of focusing on the present moment can unlock a wellspring of energy and clarity. Like a lily turning instinctively toward the sun, we too have an innate ability to seek what nourishes us. When we shift our attention from worry to purpose, from distraction to intention, we engage with the universal flow that sustains all creation. Thought is the silent architect of our reality. What we dwell upon becomes the blueprint for our lives. A person who believes themselves unworthy will unconsciously act in ways that reinforce this belief, while one who sees their intrinsic value will rise to meet it. This is the power of the mind, to transform, to elevate, to create. Yet, so often, we squander this gift, allowing it to be clouded by doubt or dulled by routine. Imagine the mind as a clear stream. When the waters are undisturbed, they reflect the sky above, revealing the infinite possibilities that exist within us. But when the stream is agitated by endless concerns, financial struggles, personal conflicts, or self-doubt, its surface becomes turbulent, and we lose sight of our potential. To reclaim our power, we must learn to quiet the waters and let go of the incessant noise that obscures our inner clarity. This is not a passive process. It requires discipline and intention, much like a gardener tending to a field. A lily does not bloom by chance. It grows because it has drawn what it needs from the earth, the sun, and the rain. Similarly, we must cultivate our minds, feeding them with thoughts that inspire, uplift, and strengthen us. Each moment of focus, each decision to turn away from negativity, is a stone laid in the foundation of a life well lived. Consider the transformative power of concentration. When we give ourselves fully to a single task, no matter how simple, we tap into a flow state where distractions fade and time seems to expand. Whether it's the deliberate act of threading a needle or the focused effort of solving a complex problem, Such moments remind us of our ability to channel all our energy into the present. It is in these instances of deep engagement that we glimpse the boundless capacity of our minds. Yet concentration is not merely a tool for productivity, it is a pathway to peace. When we learn to direct our thoughts with intention, we free ourselves from the grip of anxiety and fear. A mind that is steady and focused becomes a sanctuary, a place where we can find solace and strength even amid life's challenges. There is a profound lesson in the way nature trusts in the rhythm of life. The lily does not hoard sunlight or anxiously await the rain. It takes what is given and flourishes in its season. Similarly, we must learn to trust in the abundance of the universe, release the need to control every outcome, and instead embrace the flow of life. This does not mean abandoning responsibility, but rather approaching it with a sense of faith and balance. The mind's capacity to comprehend and influence reality is what gives it its power. We attract lack when we concentrate on scarcity, and success when we concentrate on abundance. This is a fundamental reality of life, not just hope. The direction of the energy carried by our thoughts dictates how our lives unfold. In order to use this ability, we must first accept that it exists, and then diligently and patiently practice using it. Realizing that every moment has the capacity for development and change is essential to living fully. A more mindful and satisfying existence can be attained by even the tiniest actions, like as taking a moment to breathe deeply, expressing gratitude, or making the decision to be kind. When considered separately, these events might not seem like much, but taken together, they contribute to the mosaic of who we are. Let's remember the lily's wisdom as we negotiate the challenges of contemporary life. They serve as a reminder that simplicity and trust are the foundations of resilience and beauty. They show us that we can discover purpose in presence and strength in quiet by synchronizing with the natural rhythms of life. Within each of us lies a mind capable of profound creation and connection. By nurturing our thoughts, embracing concentration, and trusting in the flow of life, we awaken to the truth of who we are, beings of infinite potential, designed not merely to survive but to thrive. The power of the mind is not a distant ideal. It is a living reality, waiting to be discovered and expressed in every moment we choose to align with it. Life offers a quiet and profound lesson when we turn to the natural world. Consider the effortless beauty of a flower, whether it be a lily, a rose, or any other. Each one is endowed with a vibrancy and elegance that human craftsmanship, no matter how refined, cannot replicate. Unlike the fleeting appeal of silk or lace, which fades and deteriorates with time, the beauty of a flower thrives in its moment of existence. As each day passes, it does not diminish but flourishes, an ever-growing testament to nature's grace. What if our lives could mirror this simplicity and vitality? What if we, like the lily, could exist free of worry, trusting in the unfolding of each moment? There is an inherent wisdom in the flower's way of being. It does not hoard sunlight or anxiously await the rain. Instead, it draws exactly what it needs from its surroundings, confident that what is necessary for its growth will arrive. This unburdened trust allows the lily to thrive, its energy directed entirely toward living fully in the present. For humans, the story is often different. We burden our minds with anxieties about tomorrow, squandering the potential of today. Instead of channeling our energy into creation, growth, or joy, we dissipate it in endless spirals of worry. Yet the truth is simple. The needs of the moment are the only ones that truly matter. Just as you need today's meal, not tomorrow's, the most pressing concerns are those of the present. And when we focus on addressing the here and now, a remarkable shift occurs. We discover that we already possess the power to meet life's demands. The human mind, when freed from the chains of worry, is a marvel of attraction and creativity. It is capable of pulling toward it the very elements required to fulfill its purpose. Like a flower that instinctively turns toward the sun, our thoughts and intentions, when aligned with clarity and focus, draw opportunities, resources, and solutions into our lives. This power, however, is fragile. The moment we allow worry to take root, it weakens our ability to concentrate, undermining the very strength that could otherwise transform our reality. Every artist, every creator knows this truth intuitively. The best work arises not from a scattered or anxious mind, but from one that is absorbed in the task at hand. When the mind is quiet and intent, it becomes a conduit for inspiration, a vessel through which brilliance flows. This principle extends far beyond the realm of art. In any endeavor, whether grand or humble, the ability to focus fully determines the quality of the outcome. Concentration not only magnifies our efforts, but also generates a magnetic force, attracting even more possibilities for success. But what about those who feel they cannot escape the grip of worry? The challenges of life, financial strain, family responsibilities, or uncertain futures, can seem insurmountable. Yet it is precisely in these moments of difficulty that the power of the mind becomes most essential. Worry, though it feels like an inevitable response, exacts a heavy toll. It saps our energy, clouds our judgment, and diminishes our capacity to act effectively. Moreover, it isolates us from the flow of positivity and abundance that is available to us when we align our thoughts with hope and possibility. The laws that govern the universe are as unyielding as they are profound. Just as a flower cannot grow without sunlight, our lives cannot flourish under the weight of persistent negativity. The thoughts we cultivate shape the reality we experience. Those who dwell on failure, scarcity, or fear will find these very conditions manifesting in their lives. Conversely, a mind that focuses on hope, success, and resilience attracts the circumstances and resources that support those outcomes. This is not wishful thinking, it is the natural consequence of aligning with the creative energy that pervades all existence. Consider a crowd that is terrified and in a panic. Chaos ensues in such a situation, and people lose their feeling of agency as they are carried away by the general fear. This dynamic is often reflected in life. We join a self-sustaining loop of anxiety and hopelessness when we let fear rule our thinking. In order to break free, we must make a conscious choice to focus our attention on positive and productive things despite uncertainty. This change is difficult, particularly in a society that frequently feeds our anxieties. However, it is feasible. Small, deliberate actions like taking a moment to take a deep breath, deciding to concentrate on just one activity, or reminding ourselves of previous victories are the first steps. These mindfulness exercises start a chain reaction that eventually replaces the worrying habit with one of clarity and trust. The flower does not fret over whether the sun will rise tomorrow or if the rain will fall. It simply grows, reaching for the light, drawing from the soil, and flourishing in its time. We too are meant to grow and thrive, not by hoarding or clinging, but by trusting in the abundance of life. When we let go of the need to control every outcome and instead focus on living fully in the present, we unlock the true potential of our minds. Life at its core is an unfolding journey of transformation. Each moment offers an opportunity to align more closely with the infinite possibilities within us. The power of the mind is not merely an abstract concept, it is a living force capable of shaping our experiences and guiding us toward fulfillment. Like the lily in the field, we are most vibrant and alive when we trust in the natural flow of existence, allowing our thoughts to nurture and uplift rather than hinder and constrain. The lesson is simple yet profound. By freeing ourselves from the weight of worry, we tap into the boundless creativity and strength that are our birthright. In doing so, we discover that life, like the beauty of the lily, is not a struggle to endure but a gift to embrace, a canvas upon which we can paint the masterpiece of our dreams. The world around us brims with lessons in simplicity, often hidden in plain sight. Take, for instance, the humble seed. Place it in the soil, grant it sunlight and moisture, and it will grow. This small miracle unfolds without the seed worrying about how or when it will sprout. The laws governing its growth operate silently, yet with such precision and purpose that their mystery transcends our understanding. It is a simple act, yet profound, a testament to the power of letting nature take its course. In simplicity lies great power, as history has shown. Consider how something as unassuming as the steam from boiling water inspired James Watt to harness a force capable of reshaping the industrial world. The vapor's power, when directed with intention, revealed energy that had been there all along, unnoticed. But what is the source of this force? Beneath it lies heat. Yes, but beyond heat is an unspoken law, an order that connects energy to action, idea to creation. This same unseen law governs the mind's incredible potential, waiting to be unlocked. The mind, like nature, is a vast and fertile ground. And yet how often are we taught to misuse it? From an early age we are instructed to study, but seldom are we taught how to truly learn. Memorizing facts and formulas is mistaken for understanding, and in this confusion we lose sight of the essence of learning, the grasp of genuine ideas. To merely recite words is no more an act of learning than repeating a melody teaches you to compose music. It is the depth of thought, not the volume of information, that gives birth to insight. Imagine filling your memory with endless details, names, dates, rules, until it groans under the weight of trivialities. This mental strain is akin to assigning names to every thread in a fabric, and considering it your duty to remember each one. Overloading the mind in this way leaves it muddled, distracted, and incapable of higher thought. The mind's true power lies not in its ability to hoard information, but in its capacity to perceive connections, spark creativity, and channel energy into meaningful pursuits. Even in the seemingly trivial act of a seed sprouting, there exists a mystery we have yet to fully unravel. How does life emerge from something so small, so still? The answer lies not in overanalyzing, but in observing with clarity and wonder. Similarly, when we overburden the mind, we rob it of its natural ability to absorb and integrate ideas. Learning becomes a chore, a mechanical act devoid of inspiration, rather than a joyous exploration of the unknown. The modern world, with its relentless demands, often mirrors this overburdening. Children bombarded with a flood of facts under the guise of education are taught to retain information without understanding its purpose. Adults, too, juggle endless responsibilities, their minds fragmented by the constant pressure to remember and manage it all. But in this chaos, the essence of growth is lost. True knowledge, the kind that transforms us, cannot be forced or hurried. It is absorbed naturally through quiet observation and practice. Consider any skill worth mastering: painting, dancing, swimming, or even steering a ship. These are not learned by memorizing instructions alone. No amount of theory can teach you how to feel the rhythm of music, balance your body in water, or navigate a vessel through the wind. Such abilities emerge only through experience, through repeated attempts and errors, until the mind and body learn to act in harmony. The words that describe these actions are merely symbols. They point the way but do not embody the essence of mastery. The process of learning demands a state of calm receptivity. When the mind is rushed or stressed, it falters, much like a seed planted in arid soil. Growth requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to engage fully with the present moment. The most profound lessons often come not from books or lectures, but from the subtle insights that arise when we are open to life's unfolding. In this state, the mind works with its surroundings, drawing from them the knowledge and inspiration it needs to flourish. And yet the world often insists on rigid rules and methods, seeking to confine the creative spirit. Geniuses, those rare individuals who change the course of history, are not bound by such constraints. They do not adhere to the preordained steps others deem essential. Instead, they trust their inner vision, allowing it to guide them toward innovation. Shakespeare, Napoleon, and countless others forged their own paths, relying on the wellspring of ideas within rather than on the crutches of convention. The mind, when allowed to operate freely, reveals its boundless potential. It becomes a force of creation, capable of transforming the simplest observations into groundbreaking ideas. But this freedom requires us to step away from the noise of overthinking and the paralysis of worry. Anxiety drains the mind of its power, leaving us scattered and ineffective. To truly harness the mind's strength, we must cultivate serenity, trust, and focus. Much like the seed trusts in the sun and soil, we must trust in the natural flow of learning and growth. The knowledge we seek is already within us, waiting to emerge through practice and reflection. Genius is not the result of following prescribed steps. It is the art of listening to the quiet wisdom of the mind and allowing it to lead. As you go about your day, consider the power of simplicity. Let go of the need to control every detail and instead focus on being fully present. Trust that your mind, like the seed or the steam, holds within it a transformative energy. This energy does not require force or strain. It needs only the right conditions, calm, clarity, and intention to manifest. The power of the mind is not a fleeting gift reserved for a chosen few. It is a universal force, accessible to anyone who dares to quiet the noise and embrace the profound simplicity of the present moment. In doing so, we discover that the mind's potential is as vast and limitless as the mysteries of the universe itself. The mind is a vast reservoir of potential, a tool of unimaginable precision, yet so often misused or left untapped. It is the bridge between our fleeting thoughts and the infinite possibilities waiting to be shaped into reality. But how do we access its true power? How do we uncover the depths of its abilities when we are so often weighed down by impatience, distraction, or the constraints imposed by others? Progress in any art, skill, or vocation requires patience. It is natural to feel disheartened by slow advancement or repeated failures, but such moments are the crucible where mastery is forged. A mind that persists, calm and unwavering, will eventually dominate whatever it focuses on. The process may not be immediate, but the rewards come to those who remain steadfast. True mastery is not born from frantic effort or forced progress. It emerges organically when the mind aligns with the deeper currents of inspiration and intuition. Art provides a perfect analogy. Its roots lie not in rigid rules, but in the spirit, that invisible essence from which all creativity flows. Centuries ago, the interplay of light, shadow, and color sparked the idea of visual representation. Someone, inspired by the patterns of the natural world, saw the potential to bring those forms to life on a canvas. What began as a simple act of expression blossomed into complex systems of perspective and texture, all evolving from that first moment of inspiration. This process reflects the path every learner must take, starting with humble experimentation and building from there. Every creation, no matter how rudimentary, is an extension of its creator, a reflection of their spirit, their unique fingerprint on the world. When the mind is free to follow its instincts, when it is allowed to trust its intuition, it reaches its most inspired state. Imagine taking even a few minutes each day to explore the interplay of color, light, and form. A dab of blue becomes a serene pond, a streak of green transforms into a line of trees, shadows create the impression of rugged rocks. This kind of experimentation not only brings joy but also awakens the creative mind. Each stroke, each observation, reinforces the connection between the hand and the spirit. And yet, even in the excitement of discovery, there is a need for balance. Too much enthusiasm, unchecked by calm reflection, can cause the spark of inspiration to fade. Patience, therefore, is the steady guide that ensures progress without burnout. The importance of calm extends far beyond art. Whether learning, creating, or simply navigating life's complexities, a state of inner tranquility is essential. When the mind is agitated or hurried, its immense power becomes fragmented. It cannot focus, cannot perceive clearly, and cannot access the deep wells of intuition that are its greatest strength. In moments of calm, however, the mind becomes like a still lake, perfectly reflective and receptive to the highest forms of insight. It is in this state that new ideas are born, solutions present themselves effortlessly, and inspiration flows without resistance. Rules, though often necessary as starting points, can also become barriers. The great innovators and creators of history understood this well. They did not allow themselves to be confined by the systems they inherited. Instead, they used those systems as stepping stones and then broke free to forge their own paths. A rule that cannot be bent or questioned becomes a shackle, preventing growth and discovery. The true artist or thinker transcends such limitations, guided not by the fear of error, but by the excitement of exploration. Life itself is a teacher, offering lessons in the most unexpected ways. Observing others, for instance, reveals insights into human nature that no textbook could provide. A glance, a gesture, or a tone of voice can speak volumes about a person's emotions, intentions, or character. In such moments, the mind acts as a silent observer, cataloging and interpreting the subtleties of human behavior. This understanding, honed over time, becomes a powerful tool, not only for personal growth but also for navigating relationships, seizing opportunities, and building trust. In actuality, trust is the foundation of all achievement. It is what holds people together in the pursuit of a common objective, whether in the dark realm of crime, business, or the arts. Intuition is the first step toward trust. A calm and concentrated mind produces the ability to determine almost instantaneously if someone is deserving of confidence. This same intuition enables us to look past appearances, to see possibilities where others do not, and to take decisive action when necessary. Intuition is not a gift reserved for a select few. It is an innate faculty that resides within all of us. Like any skill, it grows stronger with use. Feeding it with reflection, practice, and a connection to the infinite wisdom of the spirit transforms it into genius. A true genius sees what others overlook. They recognize the diamond within the rough, the hidden brilliance in what seems ordinary. Genius is not about having perfect grammar or polished manners. It is about the ability to create, envision, and bring ideas into being. It is the force that moves mountains, builds cities, and connects continents, not through rigid adherence to convention, but through bold innovation and unwavering confidence. To access this power, one must cultivate a state of restful awareness. It is in moments of calm that the mind operates at its peak efficiency. Just as a strained muscle cannot perform its best, an agitated mind cannot think clearly or act decisively. In a mere 5 seconds of focused clarity, you might discern the true nature of a situation or the trustworthiness of a person. This ability, born of serenity, is what allows the mind to achieve greatness. But serenity is not passive. It is an active state of alignment with one's inner self. It requires letting go of fear, doubt, and the noise of external expectations. When the mind is at peace, it becomes a channel for higher wisdom, a mirror reflecting the truths of the universe. In this state, learning becomes effortless, creation becomes natural, and success becomes inevitable. The mind's power is limitless, but it is not a power of force or struggle. It is a power of connection to intuition, to inspiration, and to the boundless potential of the spirit. By embracing patience, calm, and trust, we unlock this power and step into a world where the impossible becomes possible. This is the true gift of the mind, not merely to think or remember, but to create, to innovate, and to transcend. In the quiet strength of a serene mind lies the key to everything we seek. The brilliance of the mind is a force both subtle and profound, a quiet whisper that carries the weight of boundless potential. History is filled with tales of individuals who achieved greatness not through brute strength, but by harnessing the invisible power of thought and intuition. Their triumphs stemmed not from external tools or techniques, but from an innate understanding of human nature and an extraordinary ability to remain poised amidst chaos. This mastery of the mind is not the domain of a chosen few. It is an inherent gift available to all who learn to tap into its depths. To unlock this power, one must first embrace stillness. In our frenzied world, we are conditioned to believe that relentless effort and constant motion are the keys to success. Yet, paradoxically, the mind thrives in moments of calm. A restless eye, ever scanning the horizon, often misses the subtle glow of opportunity. Similarly, when we strain to recall a forgotten name or force our way through a problem, clarity eludes us. It is only when we relinquish the compulsion to control, when we allow ourselves to flow with the rhythm of thought, that answers reveal themselves. The mind, when unburdened by tension, becomes a conduit for inspiration. Ideas take form in the quiet spaces between thoughts, like stars emerging in the night sky. Consider the moments when creativity strikes, not in the midst of frenzied activity, but during the tranquil stillness of reflection. A painter may find their masterpiece not in the deliberate strokes of the brush, but in the spontaneous interplay of color and light, born from an unencumbered imagination. The same holds true for any endeavor, whether it be the crafting of art, the solving of a complex problem, or the pursuit of a deeply personal goal. The true genius of the mind lies in its ability to transcend the physical senses. While sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell are powerful, they are merely the surface of human perception. Beneath them lies a more profound awareness, a spiritual intuition that connects us to the world and to each other in ways that defy the limits of space and time. This is the essence of connection, a resonance that bridges miles and moments, linking us to people and ideas we may never physically encounter. When cultivated, this intuitive understanding becomes a wellspring of insight. A calm mind can perceive truths hidden from the hurried observer. It can read the subtle language of gestures, tones, and expressions, discerning the unspoken emotions that shape human interaction. Such awareness is not merely a tool for personal growth, but a pathway to deeper empathy and connection. The observer, in this state, does not merely see. They absorb the essence of what lies before them, gaining clarity and perspective that elude the distracted mind. This calm, centered state is the foundation of all meaningful action. Imagine a seasoned hunter moving silently through a forest, attuned to every sound and shadow. Their movements are deliberate, their focus unshaken. In contrast, a novice, overwhelmed by excitement, may charge forward recklessly, scaring away the very prey they seek. Success, whether in the wilderness or the boardroom, demands this same composed clarity. A mind free from the noise of fear and impatience. In the realm of ambition and achievement, the power of the mind often determines the outcome far more than external circumstances. The most successful individuals are not necessarily those with the greatest resources or advantages. Instead, they are those who have mastered the art of mental stillness, allowing their inner strength to guide them. This strength manifests not as forceful action, but as an unwavering confidence that draws others in and shapes reality to their will. The ability to remain calm under pressure is not simply a matter of temperament, it is a skill that can be cultivated. By practicing mindfulness, and by choosing to pause and breathe before reacting, we train our minds to remain steady even in the face of adversity. In this state, we are no longer at the mercy of fleeting emotions or external events. We become the masters of our destiny, capable of making decisions with clarity and purpose. There is a profound joy in this state of inner harmony. When the mind is at peace, the world takes on a new vibrancy. Colors seem brighter, sounds richer, and the simplest moments become a source of wonder. The rustle of leaves, the laughter of a child, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, all these become reminders of the beauty that exists in the present moment. This heightened awareness is not a fleeting experience, but a natural byproduct of a calm and focused mind. Yet, this state is fragile. It requires vigilance and care to maintain. The distractions of modern life, the constant barrage of notifications, the pressure to perform, the noise of countless competing voices, can easily pull us away from our center. To preserve our mental clarity, we must learn to set boundaries, to carve out moments of stillness amidst the chaos. Whether it is through meditation, time spent in nature, or simply the act of pausing to reflect, these practices anchor us, allowing the mind to recharge and realign. Ultimately, the power of the mind is a gift that grows with use. The more we trust our intuition, the more it guides us. The more we practice stillness, the more clarity we gain. And as we cultivate this inner strength, we find that the world begins to respond in kind. Doors open, opportunities arise, and paths that once seemed insurmountable become clear. The journey to mastering the mind is not a destination, but a lifelong practice. It is a dance between effort and ease, between action and reflection. It is the recognition that true power lies not in the forceful assertion of will, but in the quiet confidence of knowing oneself. And in this knowing we discover the boundless potential that resides within us all. The mind is a realm of limitless potential, a dynamic force capable of shaping the course of our lives and the world around us. Yet, its power often eludes us when it is scattered, restless, or consumed by anxiety. Mastering the mind is not about force or domination. It is about nurturing a state of calm focus, where thoughts flow effortlessly, ideas converge, and possibilities expand. In this state, the mind transforms into a magnet for inspiration, clarity, and purpose, a quiet yet profound force that can influence not only our actions, but also those around us. Consider the impact of serenity in situations that demand quick thinking or keen negotiation. When faced with a shrewd merchant or a challenging adversary, it is not the loudest voice or the most aggressive stance that commands attention. It is the composed, unshaken presence that radiates quiet confidence. This state of mind is not just advantageous in conflict or commerce, it is equally vital for study, creation, and play. When the mind is calm and centered, work becomes an act of joy, learning is a natural flow, and even the simplest experiences become deeply fulfilling. However, this delicate balance can be disrupted in an instant. A sudden provocation, an overwhelming task, or a surge of negative emotions can cause the mind to clench like a fist, redirecting its energy toward reactive impulses rather than creative solutions. When agitation takes hold, our ability to absorb and process thoughts diminishes, as if the mind's open hand has closed tightly, unable to grasp the ideas waiting to flow in. In moments of restlessness, our energy, both mental and physical, seems to dissipate, directed toward whatever troubles us, leaving little left for growth or discovery. True mastery of the mind lies in cultivating a state of receptivity. This is not a passive state, but an active readiness, like the stillness of a lake that reflects the world around it with perfect clarity. When the mind is at ease, it becomes a sponge for knowledge, soaking up insights and ideas with minimal effort. It is in this state that the seeds of innovation are planted. A receptive mind does not strain or struggle. It simply allows inspiration to take root and flourish. For those who understand and practice this mental discipline, the rewards are profound. Their presence exudes a magnetic energy that draws others in, influencing situations and interactions in subtle yet powerful ways. This unseen force, the projection of a concentrated and balanced mind, creates an aura of authority and trust. It is why some individuals seem to command a room effortlessly or inspire action without uttering a word. Their power lies not in what they demand, but in what they attract. The ability to harness this power is not confined to a select few. It is within reach of anyone willing to practice mindfulness and intentional focus. By regularly entering a state of calm concentration, we train the mind to remain steady, even in the face of chaos. This practice sharpens our ability to navigate challenges, fostering a resilience that allows us to face adversity with grace and composure. It also enhances our capacity to influence, as our thoughts, when focused and undistracted, resonate more deeply with others. The mind's influence extends far beyond the self. It is a force that shapes relationships and environments. Our interactions with others are rarely neutral. We absorb and reflect the thoughts, emotions, and energies of those around us, often without realizing it. Close association with someone whose mindset is negative or limiting can subtly erode our own perspective, altering how we perceive and respond to the world. Over time, this influence can lead us to adopt beliefs and attitudes that are not truly our own, a quiet hypnosis that reshapes our identity. Conversely, aligning ourselves with individuals who embody purpose, clarity, and positivity elevates our own state of mind. Their influence inspires us to rise above our limitations, to see the world through a lens of possibility rather than constraint. This interplay of energy is a testament to the interconnected nature of human thought, a dynamic exchange that can either uplift or undermine, depending on the sources we choose to engage with. The key to preserving the integrity of our mind lies in deliberate awareness. By cultivating moments of solitude and reflection, we can recalibrate, separating our authentic thoughts from the echoes of external influences. In this state of clarity, we reclaim the freedom to think, feel, and act in alignment with our true selves. The mind, unburdened by external noise, becomes a powerful instrument, capable of extraordinary creation and profound insight. The mind functions as a force that alters reality, rather than merely a conduit for ideas when it is directed by this sense of focus and purpose. Even the most difficult tasks become doable during these times, and the most difficult issues show their answers. This is the power of a harmonious mind, a mind that views challenges as chances for development and change rather than as impassable walls. We must approach life with a sense of detachment, not from concern or emotion, but from the heavy weight of expectation, if we are to fully utilize the power of the mind. We enable ourselves to act boldly and clearly when we release ourselves from fear, doubt, and the never-ending quest for perfection. In this state, like a skilled artisan using a tool, the soul guides the body with purpose and precision, transcending the physical realm. Although achieving mental mastery is not without its difficulties, the benefits greatly exceed the costs. It's a journey of continuous development, where every quiet moment yields fresh insights, and every act of concentration honed our ability to create, connect, and inspire. When the mind is cultivated and disciplined, it becomes a lighthouse, a wellspring of power and insight that illuminates the way for everyone who walks it, not just ourselves. This reveals the mind's actual power, a force that exists outside the realm of the physical, a source of limitless potential, and a compass that points us in the direction of a fulfilling life with limitless possibilities. The mind is incredibly powerful, influencing not only our own experiences, but also how we engage with the outside world. It is a power that may bring about the world we perceive, not just a passive viewer of existence. We create a life full of possibilities and opportunities when we think positively and with optimism. But when we let negativity take hold, we bring problems and challenges into our lives, which affects not just our emotional well-being, but also our physical health. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are threads weaving the fabric of your existence. Every thought you entertain, whether hopeful or despairing, adds to this tapestry. When your mind is clear, focused, and filled with optimism, you create a pattern of success, joy, and health. But when you allow negativity, whether from within or from external sources, to cloud your thinking, the very fabric of your life begins to fray, pulling in destructive forces that obscure your path and drain your vitality. The truth is, the mind is not isolated. It is in constant interaction with the world around it, and the energy we project through our thoughts has the power to influence everything we encounter. When you align your mind with positive intentions, you attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that reflect that energy. Conversely, if you let your thoughts be dominated by fear, anger, or despair, you will find that these emotions manifest in your life as real, tangible consequences. It's like planting seeds. If you sow negativity, you'll reap nothing but weeds. But if you plant seeds of hope and determination, you'll nurture a garden of success and well-being. The mind is incredibly powerful, influencing not only our own experiences, but also how we engage with the outside world. It is a power that may bring about the world we perceive, not just a passive viewer of existence. We create a life full of possibilities and opportunities when we think positively and with optimism. But when we let negativity take hold, we bring problems and challenges into our lives, which affects not just our emotional well-being, but also our physical health. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are threads weaving the fabric of your existence. Every thought you entertain, whether hopeful or despairing, adds to this tapestry. When your mind is clear, focused, and filled with optimism, you create a pattern of success, joy, and health. But when you allow negativity, whether from within or from external sources, to cloud your thinking, the very fabric of your life begins to fray, pulling in destructive forces that obscure your path and drain your vitality. The truth is, the mind is not isolated. It is in constant interaction with the world around it, and the energy we project through our thoughts has the power to influence everything we encounter. When you align your mind with positive intentions, you attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that reflect that energy. Conversely, if you let your thoughts be dominated by fear, anger, or despair, you will find that these emotions manifest in your life as real, tangible consequences. It's like planting seeds. If you sow negativity, you'll reap nothing but weeds. But if you plant seeds of hope and determination, you'll nurture a garden of success and well-being. It's essential to understand that our thoughts are not isolated from the world they inhabit. They are deeply interconnected with the physical world around us. When we indulge in negative thinking, we are not just creating mental patterns, we are creating real-world consequences. It may begin with a small worry, a fleeting doubt, but if nurtured, these thoughts can grow, becoming all-consuming and affecting our lives in profound ways. They can manifest as chronic stress, fatigue, or illness, slowly but surely taking their toll on our well-being. The key to harnessing the true power of the mind lies in the ability to control it. By cultivating a mindset of positivity, focus, and gratitude, we unlock the potential to transform not just our mental state, but our physical reality as well. This is not to say that life won't present challenges or obstacles. It is about how we meet them. When we are grounded in the belief that we have the power to navigate life's difficulties with grace and strength, we can rise above them. We shape our destiny with every thought we allow to occupy our minds. It's simple to get caught up in the idea that our mood is determined by our situation. However, the truth is that our circumstances are shaped by our ideas and attitudes. The ability to choose how we react to life's obstacles is where real power resides. In the face of hardship, someone who remains optimistic and persistent will frequently discover answers, whereas someone who gives in to hopelessness will get immobilized by their own thoughts. You start to align yourself with the universe's natural flow when you learn to master your ideas. Your energy aligns with the good energies surrounding you, making you a magnet for happiness, health, and success. However, this is a discipline that calls for commitment and consciousness. Although it's simple to be caught up in the negativity of the world, you have the ability to overcome it. Every idea you have is a decision, and decisions have repercussions. You are sowing the seeds of negativity that will eventually take root and have an impact on your life if you let your mind linger on concerns, anxieties, and uncertainties. However, you start to align yourself with the energy of opportunity and growth if you decide to concentrate on the positive, on solutions rather than difficulties. You draw in the situations that help you achieve your objectives. This is not to imply that achieving success and happiness is always simple. There will always be obstacles in life, but how you handle them depends on how strong your mind is. Even under the most trying circumstances, a person who maintains an optimistic outlook will always find a way to go forward. They will be guided by their inner clarity and serenity, which will enable them to confidently negotiate life's curveballs. Ultimately, the mind's power is boundless. You may influence the world you experience by controlling your thoughts and directing your energy toward the things you wish to create. The mind is the doorway to everything, and by using it to its fullest extent, you can change your life in significant ways. The seeds that will bloom into your future are your ideas. Make an informed decision. The true essence of a person's influence is not determined solely by their words or actions. It is deeply rooted in the power of their thoughts. The thoughts we carry within us serve as the silent force that shapes how others perceive us and ultimately how we experience life. When your mind is clear, confident, and filled with positivity, you exude an energy that uplifts and energizes those around you. This force, which we often describe as charm or magnetism, is not just a superficial attraction. It is a profound resonance that stems from the purity and strength of your thoughts. Your thoughts are far more than fleeting ideas. They are the invisible threads that connect you to everything around you. When these thoughts are imbued with positivity, hope, and confidence, they send out vibrations that impact others in ways that are both subtle and powerful. In the presence of such energy, people feel revitalized, inspired, and uplifted. You become a source of light in the world, drawing others towards you, not through your words or appearance, but through the force of your inner essence. Making an impression doesn't always need speaking. Silence can sometimes have the greatest impact. Even if you don't speak, the energy you radiate through your thoughts can be sensed by everyone around you. Positive thinkers exude a warmth and comforting aura that envelops everyone in their vicinity. Their presence turns into an invitation to unwind, find tranquility, and become more receptive to the world's potential. Every interaction becomes a chance for connection and mutual improvement because of this unseen but real force that transcends physical presence. On the other hand, you start to repel rather than attract when your thoughts are full of negativity, criticism, or resentment. People around you may feel the dense, hefty energy you radiate. Because people naturally avoid things that are damaging or depleting, negative thoughts put up a barrier that separates them from other people. Regardless of how affable or well-spoken you are, it seems that these pessimistic ideas create a wall that keeps you apart from other people. Darkness repels in the same manner that light attracts. This is the true nature of influence. It begins with the mind. Whether positive or negative, our thoughts shape our environment and those within it. The power of your thoughts is so profound that it extends beyond the immediate circle of your influence. It ripples out, affecting not just the people in your presence, but also the circumstances you encounter. A mind filled with pessimism or envy creates a field of resistance where opportunities seem to slip away and relationships become strained. But a mind that is rooted in goodwill, kindness, and positivity opens doors, fosters connections, and attracts abundance. However, it is crucial to recognize that we are not merely passive vessels of thought. Our mind is a powerful force, and like any force, it can be directed. The way we shape our thoughts determines not just the impact we have on others, but the quality of life we create for ourselves. By consistently cultivating thoughts that are aligned with goodness, we tap into a deeper level of connection with the universe, one that is marked by peace, vitality, and success. When you operate from a place of genuine intention to uplift and support others, you align yourself with the universal forces that guide us toward greater harmony and prosperity. It is through this alignment that we experience the true power of the mind. When your thoughts are filled with a sincere desire to help, to heal, and to bring out the best in others, you become a conduit for energy that elevates not just yourself, but the world around you. The force of this intention is so potent that it fuels your every action, amplifying the impact of everything you do. It is not just about what you do, but the energy with which you do it. A person who acts with genuine kindness and purpose carries an invisible strength that is felt by everyone they encounter. This is the essence of true power, the ability to channel your thoughts into actions that bring about positive change. This principle is reflected in the most profound teachings of history. Great leaders, healers, and visionaries throughout time have demonstrated the extraordinary power of aligning one's thoughts with higher ideals. Christ, for example, was a master of this art. His ability to command the elements and perform miracles was not rooted in external power, but in his deep connection to a higher plane of consciousness. His thoughts were so aligned with the divine will that they had the power to transform reality itself. In a similar vein, cultivating a kindness attitude allows us to access a higher frequency of thinking, which links us to the most powerful forces of creation. This is based on natural law and is not only a philosophical or religious concept. The force of goodwill and goodwill operates in our lives in the same way as the sun shines on everyone without exception. The winds blow, and the tides rise and fall in accordance with their own laws. It is an indisputable universal law that cannot be disregarded. We become impervious to the damaging effects of negativity and hatred when we align ourselves with these energies. Realizing that every thought we have causes a vibration to be released into the world is the first step toward comprehending this power. The world we live in is shaped by the energy that goes into our ideas. We may foster an atmosphere that supports development, well-being, and achievement if we decide to feed our brains with ideas of kindness, understanding, and compassion. However, we draw negativity and degradation when we focus on animosity, anger, or hatred. It seems as though the mind and body are containers that mirror the type of thoughts we have. The connection between the mind and the body is undeniable. Our thoughts have a direct impact on our physical health and well-being. When we harbor negative emotions, they can manifest in our bodies as stress, illness, or fatigue. But when we fill our minds with positive, life-affirming thoughts, we nourish our bodies, strengthen our immune system, and promote overall well-being. The mind and body are not separate. They are intimately connected, and the energy of our thoughts affects every cell in our being. In the end, the power of the mind is limitless. By focusing on thoughts that are aligned with goodness and positive intent, we unlock the ability to transform not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us. When we act with genuine love and goodwill, we tap into the highest frequency of thought, connecting us to the universal forces of creation. This alignment with higher ideals is the true source of strength, vitality, and success. As we continue to cultivate positive thoughts, we open ourselves to a world of infinite possibilities, where every action is infused with the power to heal, uplift, and create. There was a moment in history when a woman reached out and touched the hem of Christ's garment, hoping for healing. She believed that the touch of his clothing would be enough to restore her. When Christ felt the power leave him, he immediately asked, "Who touched me?" This moment wasn't just about physical contact. It was about the transmission of spiritual energy. What he experienced wasn't some vague, abstract force. It was a palpable, tangible manifestation of the spiritual energy that existed within him. This is where the true power of the mind lies, the ability for thought and energy to condense and materialize, becoming a physical force capable of transforming reality. When we consider the mind's power, we must understand that thoughts themselves are not merely intangible wisps. They are substances, potent and capable of influencing the world around us. Thoughts, when pure and elevated, have the ability to manifest in ways that extend far beyond the mental realm. The miracles performed by Christ, such as the multiplication of loaves and fishes, were not just acts of divine will. They were the results of concentrated, powerful thought, an energy so potent it could shape the material world. However, despite his divine connection, Christ knew that he could not afford to be constantly surrounded by negativity. The energy of other people's thoughts could drain him, and he would need to constantly protect himself from their harmful influence. His strength, which was drawn from a source of purity and spiritual power, could be compromised by the weight of negative thinking. This brings us to a crucial lesson. While we can influence others with our thoughts, the energy we exchange with those around us can either nourish or drain us. It's not just about the act of helping or healing, it's about the quality of the minds we interact with. The woman who touched Christ's garment was not only physically ill, but her mind was consumed with negativity and despair. Christ, sensitive to the nature of thoughts, immediately felt the contamination in her mind. This negative energy was like poison to his own purity. Though the interaction was brief, it momentarily interrupted his ability to control the elements, mixing his pure energy with hers and corrupting his power temporarily. This story teaches us that our thoughts are not isolated within us. The thoughts of others can invade our minds, influencing us in ways we might not immediately recognize. That is why the energy exchange between individuals is so crucial. When we allow negative, toxic thoughts into our lives, we weaken ourselves. In contrast, when we surround ourselves with those who radiate positive, uplifting thoughts, we experience an elevation of our own energy. The power to discern the true nature of those around us lies in our own purity of thought. The clearer our minds are, the more easily we can read the intentions and energy of others. Purity is the cornerstone of spiritual power. Just as steel is pure and strong, so too is a mind that is free from harmful thoughts. A mind that is elevated in its thinking, untouched by negativity, holds within it a remarkable power, one that can shape reality and influence the world for the better. When Christ healed, it was not merely through his physical presence, but through the purity of his mind, which connected him to a higher plane of existence. His thoughts, always aligned with goodness and compassion, had the power to manifest miracles. The lesson here is clear. We must be mindful of where we direct our energy and with whom we choose to associate. The people we allow into our lives and the thoughts we allow to influence us can either uplift or diminish us. When we interact with those who appreciate and nurture the quality of our thoughts, both we and they benefit from the exchange. These relationships are symbiotic. They are both mentally and physically enriching. But if, on the other hand, we give more than we receive, offering our wisdom only to entertain, we risk being diminished. If our thoughts are superior, yet they are met with indifference or mere entertainment, the benefits of such an interaction are fleeting. There is no true growth or exchange, only a brief moment of satisfaction that leaves us feeling unfulfilled. Spiritual relationships are of the utmost importance because they elevate our thinking and enrich our inner world. When we share our wisdom with others who are eager to absorb it and grow from it, we build a bond that strengthens us both. These relationships, grounded in mutual respect and shared spiritual growth, create a quality of thought that nourishes us and fortifies our spirit. The exchange becomes a form of sustenance that powers us in ways that go beyond the physical world. The energy we give and receive in such relationships becomes a vital force, one that enhances every aspect of our being. True power comes not from external circumstances, but from the quality of our thoughts. It is the ability to maintain a clear, positive mind in the face of challenges that defines strength. Just as the wind, tides, and sunlight follow their own natural laws, so too does the energy of thought move according to its own laws. Every thought we entertain sends out vibrations that affect our environment, shaping the world in ways we may not immediately perceive. Therefore, it is essential to live with an awareness of the power of our thoughts and the energy we put into the world. When we think of freedom, we often think of external circumstances. Freedom from oppression, from societal constraints, from the need to conform. But true freedom lies in the mind. It is the freedom to choose our thoughts, to free ourselves from negative patterns and the fear that controls us. The mind can become a prison when we allow it to be dominated by fear and anxiety. It is through spiritual growth, through elevating our thoughts and focusing on what is good and pure, that we find true liberation. At times, the relationships we form may need to be re-evaluated. We may find ourselves drifting away from those whose energy no longer serves us, or aligning ourselves more closely with those whose thoughts resonate with ours. These transitions, though they may seem difficult at first, are necessary for growth. Just as a tree sheds its leaves in the winter to make room for new growth in the spring, so too must we shed old, limiting associations to create space for new, life-enhancing connections. Ultimately, the power of the mind is the power to shape our lives. It is the key to unlocking the potential that lies within us and the world around us. By aligning our thoughts with goodness, we tap into a vast source of spiritual energy that not only transforms our lives, but the lives of others. When we live in harmony with this higher frequency, we become agents of change, creating a world of love, peace, and possibility. True power is not about controlling others or the world. It is about controlling the energy within ourselves, directing it toward the creation of a life that reflects our highest ideals. The power of the mind is both vast and invisible, like an energy that shapes every aspect of our lives without us even realizing its influence. It is capable of creating entire worlds of possibility or trapping us in self-imposed prisons. Fear, in particular, is one of the strongest chains the mind can create, binding us to thoughts of inadequacy, insecurity, and dependence. Imagine a person, highly skilled and indispensable, caught in the cycle of serving someone whose needs are erratic and whose leadership is unstable. Despite this person's immense potential, they become a mere reflection of the ever-changing whims of their employer. They might have brilliant minds, capable of transforming their own life and the lives of others, yet they find themselves caught in a constant state of submission. Their ideas are never fully realized, and their creativity is stifled by the uncertainty that surrounds them. This, tragically, is the condition of countless people living in a state of mental servitude. What is truly remarkable is how these individuals, despite their talents and potential, unknowingly feed the unstable minds they serve. The energy of their thoughts, their creativity, their intelligence, it all becomes siphoned away, absorbed by the erratic forces they are constantly in contact with. They may not even realize that the fears, doubts, and insecurities they feel do not originate from within themselves. These thoughts are not their own. They have absorbed them, allowing them to seep into their minds and become their reality. They live in a state of perpetual uncertainty, unsure of their own worth and of the validity of their own thoughts. This is the subtle and powerful danger of fear. It is a parasite that attaches itself to your thoughts and beliefs, feeding off your energy and influencing every decision you make. You may think that your doubts and uncertainties are unique to you, but in truth they are the result of a deeper, invisible influence that shapes the way you see yourself and your world. Fear can cripple the mind, turning a once powerful intellect into a slave to uncertainty and hesitation. When you are constantly under the influence of fear, your ability to think clearly becomes compromised. It distorts your perception of reality and limits your potential. You start to doubt your own abilities, question your decisions, and second-guess your path. Every choice becomes a struggle, and each step forward feels like a battle. The most insidious part of this mental servitude is how it affects your body and spirit. Living in a constant state of fear and uncertainty takes a toll on your physical health, as well as your emotional and spiritual well-being. The mind and body are intricately connected, and when the mind is in turmoil, the body follows suit. Fear creates tension, stress, and anxiety, all of which manifest physically, eroding the body's vitality. Your spirit, too, becomes weighed down by the constant burden of mental and emotional strain. You are no longer fully present in your own life. You are merely surviving and reacting to external pressures instead of living with purpose and clarity. This is the tragedy of so many people today. They live their lives in a state of fear and submission, never fully realizing their own potential. They remain trapped in jobs or relationships that drain them, unable to break free from the invisible chains that bind them. They may have dreams, visions, and talents, but they are never able to express them fully because they are constantly tethered to something or someone that keeps them in a state of uncertainty and fear. They become like ghosts of their true selves, wandering through life without purpose, waiting for permission to be themselves. The first step toward breaking free from this mental servitude is recognizing the nature of fear and how it operates within the mind. Fear thrives in the absence of clarity. It feeds on doubt, confusion, and insecurity, and it can be incredibly powerful when you allow it to dominate your thoughts. But the moment you begin to take control of your mind, to think with clarity and purpose, fear loses its grip. The more clearly you see your own potential, the less power fear has over you. You start to recognize that the doubts and insecurities you feel are not part of your true nature. They are merely temporary, fleeting thoughts that can be discarded with the right mindset. The mind is a powerful force, and it can either imprison you or set you free. The key is to take control of your thoughts and beliefs, and to stop allowing the opinions and insecurities of others to dictate your reality. When you live with clarity, you tap into an energy that is both empowering and liberating. You begin to see the world through a different lens, one that is no longer clouded by the fear and uncertainty that once held you back. You realize that you are the creator of your own reality, and that the only limitations you face are the ones you impose upon yourself. Once you begin to break free from the grip of fear, you will start to see the power of your own mind at work. You will find that the ideas, visions, and dreams you once thought were out of reach are now within your grasp. Your creativity flows more freely, your decisions become more confident, and you start to see results in your life that once seemed impossible. You are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You are the active creator, shaping your reality with each thought you think. The mind is a tool that can either build or destroy. It is capable of bringing you closer to your highest potential, or it can keep you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. The difference lies in how you use it. When you allow yourself to think clearly, to free your mind from the shackles of fear, you unlock a power that is truly limitless. Your thoughts become the seeds of your reality, and with each clear, purposeful thought, you plant the foundation for the life you desire. The power of the mind is not a force to be underestimated. It is not merely a passive observer of the world around you. It is an active participant in the creation of your life. Your thoughts have the power to shape your reality, influence the people around you, and to bring your dreams to fruition. But this power can only be harnessed when you free yourself from the chains of fear and doubt. Once you do, you will realize that the only true limitations are the ones you place upon yourself. With a clear mind, there is nothing you cannot achieve. The world is yours to create, and the power to shape it lies within you. Regardless of the route you select, invisible forces, often referred to as your unseen companions, are always there and ready to lead you toward honesty. However, when you let yourself be influenced by contradictory ideas, particularly when they originate from people you view as inferior, their capacity to help you is significantly curtailed. It's similar to attempting to construct a ship and then giving the job to a shipbuilder one day and a barge-building expert the next. Your development and the project's direction become unpredictable. In life, a lot of people make the error of continuously changing their objectives, aims, and intents in response to every new idea or viewpoint they come across. They might go in one direction one day and then go entirely on a different path the next. You will find the right guidance if you want to live a genuine life and ask for it along the road. However, constancy is a crucial component in guaranteeing the direction of your unseen allies. Your mental attitude has a significant impact on whether or not those unseen forces can assist you, much like how the clarity of your requests and intentions affects the cosmos around you. The flow of genuine direction is disrupted when you let your mind wander and blindly accept the ideas of others. You give up your power if you repress your own ideas or sentiments out of fear of losing friends or social standing. You drive away the very wisdom that could help you when you prioritize your fear of rejection over the importance of your own truth. This is the subtle power that fear holds. It empowers tyrants, elevating those who would otherwise be mere leaders into figures of dominance, controlling others through the anxiety and insecurity they themselves propagate. The world is full of these invisible chains of fear, chains of societal expectations, and chains of dependence. The rich fear losing their wealth, the workers fear losing their jobs, and the artist fears rejection. But none of these fears, no matter how real they may seem, serve you. In fact, they only keep you trapped in a cycle of anxiety and stress that robs you of clarity and purpose. When you live in fear, you disconnect from your authentic self. You begin to live according to what others think of you, rather than what you know to be true in your heart. Fear makes you small. It narrows your focus to survival, rather than thriving. Living in constant worry about what might go wrong, whether it's financial loss, social rejection, or physical illness, can be devastating. Fear paralyzes the spirit, erodes the body, and blocks the flow of your true energy. When you feel trapped by fear, whether about financial hardship, illness, or loss, it becomes a constant presence that overshadows your every thought and action. And yet, fear doesn't provide any real solutions. Does fearing debt help you pay it off? Does worrying about illness keep you healthy? Does fearing failure create success? No. Fear is not a tool for solving problems. It's a force that magnifies them. It keeps you trapped in the same cycle, constantly anticipating negative outcomes, and in doing so, it ensures that you remain in the very situations you are trying to avoid. The more you focus on fear, the more you attract the very thing you fear. The more you worry about losing your job, the more unstable your situation becomes. The more you fear illness, the more fragile your health becomes. This is the paradox of fear. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The first step in freeing yourself from this cycle is to confront your fears. Start by imagining yourself as courageous, facing everything you fear with calmness and confidence. Visualize yourself standing strong in the face of adversity, whether it's dealing with a difficult person, facing a debt, or handling a challenging situation. When you see yourself as brave, you begin to embody that bravery. What you imagine and believe in your mind shapes the world you experience. The more you feed that vision of courage, the more it becomes your reality. And don't stop there. Call on that courage when you feel fear creeping in. The more you ask for courage, the more you will begin to experience it. It's a muscle that grows stronger with use, and once you have cultivated this strength, it stays with you. It becomes a permanent part of who you are, something you can rely on when faced with challenges. Every time you confront your fears, you build an inner strength that cannot be taken from you. In this process, you will also discover that your fears are not yours to carry. Often, the fear you experience is not even your own, but something you've absorbed from the environment or from the people around you. The agent who fears the wealthy, the worker who fears losing their position, and the artist who fears criticism, these are all examples of how fear is transferred from one person to another. It's a contagion, passed from one mind to another, and it spreads silently, often without us even realizing it. But just as fear can be passed along, so too can courage, clarity, and confidence. You can alter how other people behave with you once you begin to take charge of your thoughts and learn how to face your fear. You no longer give in to the influence of people who live in dread. Rather, you draw people who share your belief in sincerity and truth. By remaining steadfast in your convictions, you communicate to the universe that you are prepared to accept the knowledge and direction that are at your disposal. The most profound growth occurs when you break free from the constant concern for what others think of you. When you stop living in the shadow of other people's judgments and fears, you step into the light of your own truth. That's when real change happens. You begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into your life. You free yourself from the invisible chains that once held you back, and in doing so, you unlock a power that has always been within you. So, the question is, are you ready to let go of your fears? Are you willing to confront them, to challenge the thoughts and beliefs that have kept you stuck? Once you do, you will find that the universe responds in kind. Your invisible allies will show up to guide you, and the path will become clear. The more you trust in your own power, the more the world will align with you. Fear will no longer have a hold on you, and once that happens, you will begin to build your life with clarity, purpose, and authenticity, free from the chains that once bound you.